Hey guys, in this video, I thought it would be interesting to take a look back at some of Ronnie Coleman's best appearances and see which version was his best. I'll be looking at his 1998, 1999, and 2003 Mr. Olympia wins, as well as his 1999 British Grand Prix and his 2001 Arnold Classic wins. These versions have all been considered some of his best looks, so it will be fun to take a look at them and give you guys an opinion on which version I think was his best. I will be looking at his physique, but also at other factors like his tan, the lighting, and the stage to compare, even if I don't mention them while talking. But remember, guys, this video is going to be purely subjective. Before the video starts, if you guys would like and subscribe, it would be much appreciated as it helps spread my videos to a wider audience. Anyways, with that all being said, let's get into this video and make sure you guys stick around to the end to see which version is my favorite. Here is his 1998 Mr. Olympia posing routine, his first ever Mr. Olympia win. This is one of his lighter versions, weighing only around 250-ish pounds, but don't let that fool you guys. He is ripped and conditioned. From behind, you can clearly see his glutes and hamstrings were dug out deep, and his back and Christmas tree area were completely dry. From the front, he was near flawless too. However, the one thing that prevents this competition from being my pick is his gyno. It really marred his look, and if it weren't for that, he would be vying for that #1 position on this list. It really is a shame, guys, since his conditioning was arguably better than the other years on this list, maybe apart from the Arnold Classic, but he was super full and had a tight, small midsection. Regardless, this is one of his best looks, and he is undeniably the champion of this show. Here is his 1999 Mr. Olympia look, which was just the slightest bit less conditioned than in 1998, but much larger at around 260 pounds. In my opinion, this version looks head and shoulders better than in 1998. The extra weight added extra fullness throughout his physique, which looks phenomenal. His back is huge and ripped, and he is still rather symmetrical through the lats, unlike in later years. I would say that his midsection is just as small as it was in 1998, and his legs look a whole lot more full and polished. There really isn't anything wrong with this physique, as even in his worst poses like the abs and thigh and side tricep, he looks phenomenal. Definitely one of his best, but let's move on to another version. This is Ronnie Coleman's 1999 British Grand Prix posing routine, and guys, this is one of my favorite looks for him. The lighting at this show was absolutely outrageous, and it definitely added 5 to 10 pounds of muscle onto the competitors' physiques. He was probably still around plus or minus 260 pounds here. However, I think he looks better here than he did at the 1999 Mr. Olympia. I mean, look at him, guys. Striations everywhere. Midsection is still in check and small, with zero signs of distension. His arms and legs look ripped and full, and his back looks crazy. He presented one of his best packages here, and I think this version is often overlooked by many when considering their favorite versions of Ronnie. I also think this is where he captured his most flawless crab most muscular, either here or at the 2003 Mr. Olympia, but I think this was a perfect combination of size and conditioning. This is one of the underrated, so to say, versions of Ronnie Coleman. Right off the bat, you guys can notice that the lighting at the 2001 Arnold Classic is pretty lackluster, which is a stark contrast from the last version we looked at. I'm not quite sure how much he weighed here, but I would assume it wasn't one of his biggest versions, judging that he wasn't that heavy at the 2001 Mr. Olympia. Anyway, he still has a small midsection. Maybe it's not as controlled as before, but it is still in check. His physique still looks world class, but he doesn't have nearly the same wow factor as any of his other physiques on this list. Looking at some pictures, there is no doubt that he was shredded to the bone, maybe even one of the most conditioned out of all the ones on this list, but I just don't see the same pop to his physique that the other versions have. I mainly blame that on the lighting, not Ronnie's physique itself, since it takes away from his conditioning and ripped physique. Overall, though, he still presented one of his best versions here, and that is clear to see, guys. I mean, he was ripped and dry. It just isn't one of my favorite versions. Definitely, though, this version looks much better through the pictures. I just wish it translated the same through video. Now, here's a version that many consider to be his best, the 2003 Mr. Olympia winning physique. This year really needs no introduction. Almost 300 pounds ripped and conditioned, dense muscularity everywhere, the best set of legs he ever presented, and some of the largest arms of all time. All this extra size did come with a cost, namely a wider, less controlled midsection. It isn't all too distracting, but you can definitely notice it during the transitions, and it does detract from his overall package. He also did lose some symmetry through the lats, but unlike his midsection, it's not an eyesore and it doesn't really ruin his flow. There really isn't much else to say about this year apart from his massiveness. And that's what makes this year so special, guys. I will say that the drastic improvements from his rather underwhelming 2002 Mr. Olympia win to his shocking 2003 win also contribute to the legendary status of this year. I would definitely say that objectively speaking, from a purely bodybuilding criteria standpoint, this physique would be his best, and it may be the best physique of all time. However, since this is my list, I'll tell you which version is my favorite and the one I believe to be his best. Alright, so here we are. After reviewing every version that has been called Ronnie's best, I have come to a conclusion. I personally believe that his 1999 British Grand Prix physique was his best version. Not only did he bring a flawless physique, but the lighting was just insane. Everything seemed to fit together perfectly at that show, and looking at videos of him posing side by side with Kevin Ronnie and Flex Wheeler revealed just how good he was. Like I said earlier, 2003 would objectively be the best physique he ever presented by virtue of sheer mass and condition, but the 1999 British Grand Prix version had cleaner lines, the perfect amount of mass, full round muscles, and good conditioning. Just as good conditioning, in fact. In second place, I would have the 1999 Mr. Olympia, as he looked just as good as the 1999 British Grand Prix, physique-wise, but the lighting didn't make him look as ridiculously peeled and massive. 1998 and 2001 would be on the same level, as they didn't look as polished as either of the 1999 versions. However, other video footage or photos may prove me wrong in the future. Remember, guys, this video is just purely my opinion, not something meant to be taken too seriously, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and please let me know if you guys would like to see more videos like this. Thank you for watching.